Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Elsa Bloodstone, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Steven.
Hey, this is the first time we've had the whole crew together for a while, it seems like. How is everyone doing today? How was everyone's Christmas? How was your Christmas, Brad?
I had a good Christmas, I guess.
That's good. That's good. How about you, Brandon?
Oh, my phone.
Yeah, it was a good time. I got to go to Morgantown, spend time with my family.
Well, that's always... Well, it may not always be good, but that's good. That sounds pleasant. Steven, how was your Christmas?
It was fine. It was very quiet, which is the way I like it.
Yeah. I spent mine with the family of She Who Tolerates Living with Me. So it was a nice time. I like spending my time up there. Well, let's move on to things having to do with the game that we talk about. We have a tournament coming up in January, specifically on January the 18th. That is the next BECC qualifier, and that is at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Everyone should come. We need more people to show up. It will be nice to
Fred,
have a real good showing. Yeah?
do you know how many people are currently signed up without looking?
Last time that we talked, it was 13.
It is 16.
Oh, 3 more. Nice. Hey, at what point does it become a 4-rounder? Like a guaranteed 4-rounder?
16. Well, 15 technically, but...
Right. But one of them's a bye if it's 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. Hey, we're going to have a big tournament. I'm looking forward to it.
Who's your goblin?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I said, who's your goblin? Anyway.
Fred, are you there?
He was having some mic issues, so...
Yeah, I think we've lost Fred. What does he normally do next?
Games we've played, I think?
Oh, yeah. I played a game. I'm the only one that was there Thursday night that's on the podcast. So I played a game against Borka. He played Cabal, and I played New Mutants, and I don't remember how many points it was, but he went wide, which I wasn't really expecting. And I don't remember much about this game. I think I lost. And, I mean, it was something wide. And so we were fighting over a bunch of points. But he just has way more attrition than New Mutants do. And so that's how you get there.
He said he won 18-9.
Yeah, and I think we were pretty close until that last turn when the attrition finally got me. Yeah.
He said the game was closer than it looked. He
Yeah.
said he finished at 18-9, but he said it was really close until the end.
Yeah. That sounds right.
I'm back. I'm on my phone now instead of on my computer. My mic is basically cooked, and that's frustrating. Sorry, everyone. So I'm on my phone today.
Don't worry, though. Fred's rich. He can buy Mike.
I am certainly not rich. Okay, well, let us... Oh, so that was games that we played. Steven, do you have any games that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I played 2, and I played them both against Mr. Cody, who you guys saw on the last tournament. He came down. But I played my Green Goblin foes again, and he was doing Scott X-Men, Cyclops X-Men. So
Nice.
I made one.
Love it.
I made one change to my list, though. I retired Shocker, and I put in Ghost Rider because He goes in better with the tricks and traps kind of like play.
Okay.
Because if you attack my goblin people and he's close, he'll do nasty things to you if you roll criticals, and I kind of like that play with him, where Shocker doesn't really do anything but deplete your the offensive dice of your opponent, and he doesn't have any movement tech like Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider gets power real easy. So also he gives out Hex, which is kind of debilitating, and he does have that penance stare, which is still real good.
I really like. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I really like Ghost Rider in that list that you have. I think that'll work real well.
Mm-hmm. So it's 9+1. So I have 9 spider foes now and 1 Ghost Rider. I'm trying to decide if Ghost Rider should become Mephisto though. So we'll see. But right now it's Ghost Rider and he's doing good. And I'm not running Deal with the Devil. I'm actually running Highway to Hell.
If it helps, Steven, Mephisto is a spider foe.
He is not a spider foe.
Wait,
Not
what are you talking about?
affiliated, but he is a foe of Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
True.
Okay.
True. I'm actually experimenting with Highway to Hell, so that Ghost Rider can drag somebody to my
hell.
goblin people and pull off a incinerate them, and then they can pull off a surprise web head on somebody. So.
And wouldn't it trigger all your tricks and traps?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
So we'll see how it goes.
Okay then. That sounds disgusting. Does the 5 threat model help your threat
Yes, very,
map?
very much so. Because when you're looking at, because I was running all 4s and 3s for the tournament, and when you're looking at your points value and you really want a 2 and a 3, Ghost Rider can fit in there. So,
yeah.
So it helps with your playability a little bit. I did that when I was running Web Warriors. I would run 5-point Amazing Spider-Man, 4 characters at 4 threat and 5 characters at 3 threat. So it allows you to cover all the points values a lot more easily. So
yeah. I have Namor in there to have a 5.
Yeah, well, you might want to do an amazing thing.
I'm pretty happy with how Namor's been handling. I can try amazing, but Namor's been doing the Lord's work in my list.
Fred, I have one question for you.
What's that?
Who's your goblin?
Well, moving on. All right. Well, so I guess I have a question for Brandon. Brandon, what's your take on Nova, the person that we covered last week?
Last week, I did listen to the episode. You guys should be proud. Fred shouldn't be proud because he was awful at trivia. But
yeah, what else is new?
Hey, I won this trivia for the record.
Yeah, you still upset me in the trivia.
Because I didn't get Jeff the Talking Shark.
Wow.
He does not
we're in search for a new host, everybody. Please send your resumes to the YouTube email. Fred's banned. We're leaving him. He's not allowed to do this anymore. I think Nova's good. I think Nova's going to be kind of an auto include in like most Guardian lists and probably all Guardian lists. I think with the winging it tokens, he's going to be really hard to deal with, especially since you can get that beam off pretty reliably on turn 2, and a beam 5, getting the extra dice on whichever model you want the extra dice on, plus winging it tokens is going to be really hard to deal with. I'm not sure how splashable they're going to be, but that's mostly because I'm not sure how splashable mini models are anymore. You kind of have to be like really broken to be like super splashable. or just like an absolute utility piece. And I'm not sure how Nova fits as a like utility piece. Five's also kind of a hard spot to splash to, so like kind of some odd little things that make splashing maybe a little bit more awkward than not. But like I said, like there's a lot of good things, good attacks, good action economy with faster than light. Got a lot going on. Nova is gonna the comparison that was brought up when you guys were talking about the comparison to Juggernaut. Juggernaut being able to get rid of stagger is really important. Being able to stagger Nova is going to make all the difference because of the action economy that he's going to want to do with Nova Force and making a move action. Without that, I mean, obviously stagger's good against a lot of people, but he doesn't have great economy to like really overcome that because a lot of it's built into that Nova Force ability. Being immune to Incinerate's really, really good. I think Nova's going to be a really good control piece because I think it can just having the distance on the attacks, being able to hit multiple characters with like the beam attack, long move on a. Is he on a small base?
I believe so. I believe he is on a small base.
Yeah, long move on a. Regardless, the long move will be helpful. Plus the long move and then into faster than light, like guaranteeing you can go a long move, a place 2 after the attack. So, and having a range 4 attack, you can almost guarantee after your long move you have an attack. The power you get off of Nova Force, you can faster than light, so you're going to be able to long move, attack in place 2. I like Judgment coming back, very fitting on this character, so that was kind of cool. We don't get Judgment very often.
I think that this is the third model that it is on.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool. That's the only real thing. And like obviously models hate stagger. Like every model hates stagger. I think this model is really, really like neutered in stagger because
he especially hates stagger. Yeah.
Because of how much they want Nova Force, and they got rid of the Guardian's Tactics card that cures conditions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the crew of the Milano. It is now no longer in. Or what's the term? It's not banned.
It's rotated.
Is it banned?
Yeah.
It's rotated.
So that may have been a little bit of foreshadowing, that being rotated before this model came out.
Yeah.
Because crew with Nova would have been really gross because there's a lot of stagger in this game and a lot of stagger in a lot of rosters. Like Nova is not going to enjoy stagger. Like obviously no model does, besides like Juggernaut doesn't care about it. But like there's not many models that stagger's really just better on than it might. Like this might be the model that is like when you stagger Nova, maybe the best model in the game to stagger.
Well, okay then. So, what is the letter grade that you will give to Nova?
I still think Nova's an A. Like there's like he does enough. Like if your only weakness is being staggered, like you're in a really good spot as a character and a model.
I think he definitely does his job, even like with that weakness.
Yeah, like I said, like being able on turn 1, being able to long move and then attack and then faster than light place yourself, like you're gonna get wherever you really want to be. If you get a put and like if you deal damage with the gravimetric cannon, then you're gonna push the character off, possibly off a point. Then you can move yourself on a point. It's gonna feel good. So like, there's a lot of things that are just gonna feel good with this character. So.
Okay. Well, thank you, Brandon. I think that we should move on now to a. Oh boy, is it already time for Brad's trivia game?
Yes.
I think it might be. Brad, do you have a trivia game for me?
I do. So here's how the trivia works. I pick 3 characters that are represented in the game of Marvel Crisis Protocol. And I give Fred a piece of trivia about them. If he gets the character correct, he will get 3 points. If he gets it wrong, I give him a hint. If he gets it right after the hint, I will give him 2 points. If he utterly fails at his one job in this trivia game, Brandon and Steven can help him out to give him 1 point if they get it right. Like I said, there are 3 of these. Fred needs 6 points to win. Fred, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, great. This character's younger brother was left in another dimension for 2 years because of the death of their father. This character thought their brother was in boarding school. This character's brother has been possessed by an unknown entity while in that other dimension. So this character gives him a ring to help him control his darkness. This brother was later kidnapped by Arcade and forced to fight to the death against other teenage superheroes.
Oh boy. Okay, so a lot of this was about someone's brother.
Correct.
Is this so who has a brother that does that sort of stuff? Teenage combat. Is it Magic? Because Magic's brother is Colossus, right? I'm gonna guess Magic.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
But Magic's brother is Colossus, but Colossus is the older brother.
Okay.
So it can't be.
I was
can't
just
be
picking
Magic.
someone who has a brother
Correct. Your
that
hint.
I know about.
This character helped find the king of all monsters. The king is a kid that can control monsters by drawing them and even create new monsters with his drawings. This character first wanted to stop the king, but needed him to help stop an alien invasion. And this character learns an important lesson. Not all monsters are bad. Unfortunately, this character learns that same lesson every time they appear.
Is this Elsa Bloodstone?
That is correct for 2 points.
Okay. That was a wild guess, but I figured that would be appropriate.
Okay.
I know nothing about Elsa Bloodstone, for the record.
Well, you just learned about her brother Colin and about one storyline she was in. It was called Monsters Unleashed.
Huh.
Right.
Okay, then. Well,
Your
that's
second
the
piece of
main
trivia.
theme of
What?
oh,
Of
that's
Elsa
the main
Bloodstone?
theme of her stories.
Yeah,
That she always learns that monsters aren't as bad as you think.
yeah. But every time. Literally every time. Okay. In a parody of this character and Daredevil that showed up in a recent Rocket Raccoon comic, this character holds a sign that says, "Come fight ninjas," in the back of a courtroom to entice Murd Blurdock, the only member of his race that can see, to go fight ninjas. This character was likely inspired by the Eisner's Spirit character, Sand Seraph, and was modeled and looks after bodybuilder Lisa Lyon and model Bo Derek.
Okay, is this She-Hulk?
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Blurdock is an awesome character. He's an alien from a race of sightless lizard people, and he has eyeballs, so he can see. And he uses his eyeballs in the courtroom to look at the faces of the jury to figure out what they are thinking by reading their facial features, because that's not a thing that you can normally do if you don't have eyes, and to fight crime as I don't remember what his superhero name is. It's not anything like Daredevil. It's like the Sighted One or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
That was mostly an excuse for me to talk about Bird. Your hint. In one story with this character is tasked with killing the lone witness to an assassination, a little girl. Dr. Connor asks Wolverine to save this girl, putting Wolverine at odds with this character. In the end, this character and Wolverine team up to give the little girl and Dr. Connor new identities and a new life.
Okay, so this person is someone who can be hired to do bad things, like murder witnesses and even children. But I'm gonna guess that this character is female, based off of who she is modeled after. Although that could be the different universe version of her.
No.
But I'm sticking
The main universe character is modeled after those two people.
Okay.
The alien version that's also in the main universe of this character that was in the back of the courtroom is a lizard person without eyes. So
okay. Okay. Well, all right. I guess the question is, who looks like Bo Derek? And I don't know. I can't pull up a mental image of Bo Derek off the top of my head right now. So, is it Silver Sable?
it is not Silver Sable.
Okay.
Okay. Brandon and or Steven, can you guys help Fred out by giving him a point here?
I have
Brandon, do you-
realistically not paid attention at all.
Okay. So I guess we need some repeats then.
What was the first hint? I got the second one.
An alien parody of this character held up a "Come Fight Ninjas" sign to entice Murd Blurdock, the only member of his race that can see, to go fight ninjas, and that this character was likely inspired by the spirit character Sans Serif and was modeled in looks after bodybuilder Lisa Lyon and model Bo Derek.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, this is tough.
Electra?
Electra is correct.
Okay. I guess that makes sense with yeah.
And if you
Okay.
see pictures of Lisa Lyon, which I looked up after learning this today, she looks exactly like 80s Electra in the comics. Like, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 3 points for Fred. You're halfway there.
Yeah, I just have to get this next one correct with the first guess.
I have faith in you, Fred. I think you can do it. You ready for your clue?
Yeah.
This character did not have a name until their 9th appearance.
That's it? That's
it.
They don't have a name until their 9th appearance.
Yeah, that's
That's not very helpful, Brad.
What? What do you mean? That's very helpful.
It's extremely unhelpful.
It
Who
is.
doesn't have a name
It
until
is
their 9th appearance?
extremely helpful.
Is it? I doubt. I don't agree. There's so many people that could be. I guess it probably is a villain. It probably is a villain. Based off the fact that they don't... And they're probably a lower level villain. Maybe like a minion or a helper or something. Could it be... could it be Sabretooth?
I want to clarify that by name, I mean that they don't have a code name or a real name. They have no name at all until their 9th appearance.
Well, I've already answered.
No, you can answer. You can change your answer.
Okay.
If you want. I mean, that could be correct. I'm not saying it's not.
Here's the thing. I have no idea, Brad. I have no clue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guess Sabretooth.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Your hint. This character is a master martial artist, chef, and was once considered a candidate for Sorcerer Supreme. This character's family has dedicated themselves to serving the side of good for centuries.
Master martial artist, a chef, and maybe sorcerer supreme. I don't know who this is. Okay. Who's a master? Like who has martial arts master that I haven't? Is it? And who has magic-y stuff that they are associated with? Oh my goodness. I have no idea, Brad. This is really tough. This is a tough one. It's probably obvious, and I just am not going to be able to pull this one out of my butt. Is this... is this Wong?
That is correct. This is Wong.
Oh, gosh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're right that it had to be someone low level because, like any major character, they get some sort of name their first appearance.
Yeah, okay.
And it... and like...
the only way I got there was that Wong is Sorcerer Supreme in the MCU.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I got there.
Yeah, he lost the job out to Brother Voodoo in the comics universe. But Wong...
Wait, Brother Voodoo? You mean Dr. Voodoo?
It's same thing. He becomes Dr. Voodoo when he becomes Sorcerer Supreme. Before that, he was Brother Voodoo in the comics.
Oh, okay.
They decided that was probably a little racist, calling the black guy brother.
Oh, that's probably fair.
That is not why they named him Brother Voodoo. They named him Brother Voodoo because he's a voodoo practitioner who knows all of his voodoo knowledge from his dead brother's ghost that hangs around him. So I'm
learning so much.
He's a voodoo master from Daniel, his brother, who's a ghost. So he is Brother Voodoo. Not because he was a black guy.
Okay.
But he is also he is also a medical doctor. So calling him Dr. Voodoo probably makes sense. All right. That was Wong. That brings you up to 5 points, which is 1 point short of winning. I'm sorry, Fred. Luckily, there's a bonus question for you. This is worth 1 point. But if you get it wrong, you lose a point. Are you ready?
Yes. What would me losing a point have to do with anything? Like, why would that? I would lose.
It
by
would
more.
matter. It would matter if you were at 6.
Okay.
All right.
The rules change every week.
What do these characters have in common?
All right. So we have Elektra, we have Elsa Bloodstone, and we have Wong.
I am so impressed you named the middle one first, Fred.
I do you know why I named the middle one first?
Because
I was having trouble thinking of the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what in the world do they have in common? What in the world do they have in common?
Something they have in common.
What is that?
No.
I guess you're not allowed to tell me. You're not allowed to tell me. They they're all defenders. They all have the defenders affiliation in common.
Did you look in Cerebro to get that answer?
I am looking at Cerebro right now. Yes. The answer is yes.
What a cheater. Fine, you get, because you cheated, I'm not going to take away your point or give you the point. You're at 5 points, you lose.
Okay. Well,
what a
all right
cheater.
Then.
That's what happens when you cheat at trivia.
Yeah,
Your
Fred,
I know that I wasn't allowed to have.
You know the rule at every time we go to trivia is you're not allowed to use your phone.
That's true. That is true. I'm not allowed to have my phone on the table when we're answering the question. I don't, for the record, everyone out there. We play by the rules.
I don't know, Fred. I don't know.
I did not know that Elsa was a defender. That is the one thing that I was scrolling up to Elsa Bloodstone, and I saw defender next to her name.
At least we know who doesn't read the chats.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys keep up with it. Y'all talk too much.
It's
All right, well,
not that hard.
I guess I lose, even though I got all the answers correct. Except for Electra. I guess Steven got that one.
Fred,
None of the questions went unanswered.
Fred, I know that you are a Star Trek fan.
Oh no. Yes.
And
that is true.
so I know that you even if you play perfectly, you can still lose.
Yeah. This is hey, and also Kirk cheats.
Yeah,
on
that's
that test.
that's the only way to win the test, Fred. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, I couldn't be more unlike Kirk if I tried, Brad. He is the least person that I am like.
Except you did cheat on the test, Fred. You did cheat.
I guess I did. All right then. Well, let's move on to the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Elsa Bloodstone, who I have open right now because I was cheating on the test. Elsa Bloodstone, otherwise known as Elsa Bloodstone. I'm never going to remember that. Her defenses are 4 physical, 3 energy, and 4 mystic. She has 6 stamina on her front and back sides. She is a threat value of 4, a size 2, and a movement speed of medium. Hey, Brad, why don't you do her attacks?
Her first attack is called Monster Hunting Weapons. It's physical, range 4, 5 dice, cost 0. Gain power equal to damage dealt. Crit, that's what that's called. Cursing Shot, after the attack is resolved, the target character gains the slow special condition. Wild Hellfire, after the attack is resolved, target character gains the Incinerate special condition. Mystic Bludgeon Blast, it is range 3, 6 dice, cost 1. You can pay power during the pay power step of this attack and gain During the pay power step of this attack, this character may spend up to 3 additional power. Add 1 die to the attack for each power spent this way. I knew what the power did. I should have just read it. Wild Degeneration. The target character cannot have damage removed from it during this activation phase.
Steven, why don't you do her affiliation leadership?
Sure, we have an affiliation, Legion of Monsters. It is an affiliation for the Midnight Suns. Once per turn, when an allied character targets a character with an attack, it may pay 1 power. If it does, the attack gains your choice of one of the following effects. Our first choice is Boom. Before damage is dealt, each other character within 2 of the target character suffers 1 damage. Next is Horrify. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains the Root special condition. And the last one is Silver Bullet. Damage caused by this attack cannot be reduced or prevented by superpowers or team tactics card.
Okay, and Brandon, why don't you finish off the card?
Mic on.
First is a active superpower run and gun for 2. It's an action. This the character immediately makes an attack action followed by a move action. A reactive superpower, supernatural senses for also 2 power. While this character is defending against physical or mystic attack during the modified dice step of the attack, it may use this superpower. This character may reroll any number of its defense dice, including skull results. And then Innate Bearer of the Blood Gem. When an enemy character causes this character to gain 1 or more special conditions, after the effect is resolved, the enemy character suffers a damage. Additionally, this character cannot be advanced or placed by the effect of mystic attacks or enemy superpowers.
All right. Well, okay, so that was Elsa Bloodstone. I think, just looking at this card, that she is quite good. It is nice that the Midnight Suns are getting another leadership. I think that there are a lot of ways that she is very similar to Blade. She's got a mystic attack, and she has, I think, supernatural senses is the exact same as Blade's defensive reactive superpower. It's very similar.
It's the exact same.
It's the exact same? Okay.
It's the exact same, yeah.
Yeah. A very good defensive reactive superpower. I like Elsa Bloodstone quite a bit. I also am a fan of her leadership. I think it's quite good. I like this model a lot. What is everyone's take here? Brad, what is your take here on Elsa Bloodstone?
Okay, so she's a pretty good model overall. Like, she has long range attacks. She's got run and gun or whatever other things it's called. Rerolling defensive dice. All that stuff's great. And then she has a leadership that lets you pick different options. And I value that highly. Having options means that you can use what you need at the time for the most benefit. In addition to that, I very much highly, rate the root special condition. Since I've been playing Apocalypse, I have found how good that is, because I've never really had access to it before. Root is amazing. You put it on everybody.
Having had Root put on my models, it is devastating, especially for Web Warriors.
Except Hawkeye, Iron Fist. There's a few models that you don't put Root on, but almost everyone hates Root. Elsa Bloodstone would hate Root.
Yes, she would.
And the fact that her builder can put out 2 conditions and her spender can cost as little as 1. And you can make it a bigger attack if you have the extra power. And the ability on that spender that they can't heal, that turns off healing factor, that turns off
Immortal Hulk.
It turns off Immortal Hulk after he's flipped. It does not keep him from getting the token because it's just during the activation phase. But it's so good. In fact, anyone who heals like Blade, which was mentioned earlier, or Dracula, is really good. In fact, I know someone who bought Maverick just so he could play him into Dracula to turn off his healing, and that did not work. But Elsa Bloodstone might work, so I might convince that person to buy her, and we'll see how it goes.
I do have Midnight Suns. I like them quite a bit.
Yeah. You're probably going to buy
you're not going to have to do a whole lot of
anyway.
convincing. Right. Brandon, what are your thoughts here on Elsa?
I think the comparison between her and Blade, like, they're very similar models. They each, so like, basically she trades run and gun for Blade's third attack, which is also an attack that gives you a move on it. But it's situational. Like these, I never realized until I really thought about it just now when Fred, supernatural sense is the exact same superpower. It's even called the same thing, Fred.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that going into it. I just knew they were very similar.
Yeah, so like they both have a physical and a mystic attack. The thing that's different is run and gun and Blade's range 4 physical attack that has a move trigger. His builder attack auto bleeds and has pierce, where this one has 2 triggers that it has to hit. Like, they are extremely similar. And Blood Gem Black, like, his builder is range 3 7 dice. It can't add dice.
His spender.
His spender can't add dice, but it can reroll any number, and then he gets the medium move afterwards. Like,
this is a very mimicked card. Even having a like it's the blood gem of the bear of the blood gem, superpower, and then the superpower that Blade has. Um, I think they're really good. Midnight Suns, the thing is, Bump in the Night is one of the best leaderships in the game. Um, so like they wanted another leader, but they necessarily didn't want it to be a 4-cost leader. They wanted a reason not to like. So it's kind of like they're kind of mimicking each other, but like both of their leaderships are really, really good. This might be the first time you actually want to play the tactics cards that allows you to switch leaderships in the middle of a game. Um,
Huh.
Yeah, versatile
Huh.
strategy.
You're
like
right.
I don't think that's ever really been something anyone would consider, but like this leadership gets better the further the game goes on, where Bump is really, really good early. Starting with Blade and using Bump to get your characters in position, and then like when the fight's actually going through, and then like rounds like 3, 4, 5, possibly 6, like being able to switch over to Legion of Monsters is something that's actually worth considering, and I don't think it's ever been a thing ever where you would consider playing versatile strategy in like a real scenario. Like I do think there is some competitive like play to versatile strategy with like the affiliation now, because like these are two models that are really good to play. Um, I wish more than anything monster hunting weapons allowed you to choose the type, physical, energy, or mystic. Um, that's the only thing I wish was different on this card, just because it's called monster hunting weapons, and that monsters are affected by different weapons, and it should be able to be different. Like, I just think that thematically would have been really fitting.
You
Um,
just wish that she was even better
no, I
than
just think
she
that would have
already
been.
is.
I would give up stuff for that to be on there. Like, I just think that would have
Yeah.
been really, really fitting on the card. But yeah, I think she's really, really good. I think she does a lot of really good things. She also likes Bump in the Night. Um, like I think she's good under Blade. I think Blade's really good under her. They're gonna fit really well together. It does. It really kind of feels like it's gonna be really hard to play Doctor Voodoo. Um, going forward. It was already kind of hard to play Doctor Voodoo. I think it's even harder to play Doctor Voodoo now with Elsa Bloodstone, just because the leadership versatility is going to be really, really important. Brad touched on it. Root's super good,
So good.
and Root might be the one you end up using the most.
I,
Um,
I,
but
yeah.
but being able to, because this is like the biggest thing is like the boom you want to use a lot, like when you're playing down the middle, but like Blade's Bump in the Night is so good when you're playing like a Gamma or a like Demons, to get your characters in position without having to spend an action to place, or like to pay to move, sorry. Like using an action to move, like so like that is like I think that one might end up being the one used like the least. But Silver Bullet has a lot of really good uses, um, especially against. It's really funny because she's an absolute counter to her own affiliation,
She
which
really
I
is.
Yeah.
think
She's
is really funny. Like
Well,
she hard counters Midnight Suns.
she does hunt monsters, and they are
Yeah,
monsters. So
yeah. But she does the monsters really like all the things that she does. So I think all of the monsters play really well with her.
that
Um,
also is fitting because every time she's in a comic, she learns that not all monsters are bad, and she teams up with them.
yeah, like she works with monsters a lot. So like the monster pack works. Like I mean, obviously Blade's also Dracula's also really good under Elsa. Being able to give out extra conditions with Dracula seems really good,
hmm
and being able to prevent you from, healing or reducing damage. Um, so there's a lot of good. It definitely makes certain things like Silver Bullet's really good into like the like Black Order characters, that Black Order's very reliant on um, their damage reduction. They're not rolling a ton of defense dice. They're really dependent on that damage reduction. Um, so being able to prevent that's going to be really important. Um, especially when you can do a big attack, like when you're using your spenders, you can really kind of finish people off by preventing the damage reduction. You're gonna not set a lot of people left on like 1 or 2 damage. You should be able to kind of clean through it without the damage reduction. So it's exciting to have
Yeah.
some play. I just wish she was a 3 and different. I just wanted versatility and like the point value because I want to play Doctor Voodoo.
I think that they like to keep affiliations with similarly threat valued leaders. Like
Yeah, like Brotherhood with
it
Magneto and Mystique.
Yeah.
well, but I think that was earlier design. I think that the modern
Magneto is
design.
just 2 Mystiques.
Yeah. No, it has been. They have mimicked a lot. I think all the criminal syndicate leaders are 4, besides Claw, who's 5. I'm fine with the leaders
Wait,
being like
Claw's a
4s and
leader?
5. Yeah. He has leadership.
What's his leadership? Is it like buff all his
I-
dudes?
I need you to know I could never know. I could never tell you what that leadership does, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I have no clue what Claw does from like top to bottom.
One of your models gets dazed or KO'd, Claw can move Stuart.
Oh, so it's really selfish. So it's not really leadership at all.
So you run him with Sandman and his grunts, and he can move quite far.
He's very selfish with his criminal activity. It makes sense. Yeah, I think she's really, really good. I think she's got a lot of play. I think it's just really unfortunate. Like, I mean, it's like I'm out here complaining about things that are no need to complain about. Like, they have 2 of the best leaderships in the game now. Like, Bump has arguably been the best leadership for a long time. They just didn't have the model support behind them.
And now they do.
Now they with Kansu, Lesser Werewolf by Night, Adam, Elsa, and especially Man Thing, like that roster's getting really, really good, really, really fast. Like I don't know if they have a bad like the worst model in that roster might hurt your feelings. Is why like that's what's kind of like crazy. Like it's probably Werewolf by Night.
That hurts my feelings.
You're probably correct.
Actually, I wouldn't say that. Because Werewolf actually plays into these leaderships. There's one model that's a really good model in game, but this model doesn't fit into the Midnight Suns plan at all.
Honestly, the worst.
That's Black Cat.
Nah, Black Cat's great. No, you play Black Cat under these leaderships. She's amazing under both of them.
But she doesn't get anything out of them. That's the whole thing.
She gets the bow with 3 power.
She's always starved for power.
Nah, she's fine.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna cut Brandon off. Brandon, you've talked enough. Steven, what are your thoughts on Elsa Bloodstone?
I like her. I mean, she has some flaws built into her character, which is fine. Obviously, the Midnight Suns don't want to see Guardians at all, with everybody having a 3 or less energy defense. It seems like. You got to be careful when you do some of your triggers on her leadership. Like, boom, it says other characters within 2. So it doesn't say enemy characters. So you could splash damage onto yourself. The one thing I don't like is when it says when you target an enemy character, pay 1. So that brings up nightmares of Doctor Strange back in the day, when you could switch targets and make something very ineffective. The one thing I really like is a run and gun. It's a better hit and run because you can do it multiple times.
Oh my gosh, is it not once per turn?
But you're correct.
It is not once per turn. Oh my god, that's so good.
Yeah.
It's so much better now.
It is the first time they have. It is also the first time they've made that ability to where you can do it twice in a turn.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why they didn't make it 3 points, but I'll take it. So, like I said, that's probably the best thing on our card is that right there. Getting to move twice and attack twice, that's action economy. That's just
and she's got a range 4 attack.
Right. Exactly.
She's going to attack whoever she wants.
And then attack someone else, and then move again.
And then the bearer of the blood gem is very interesting. When you have somebody who has like 1 health left on them, and they do an attack into you that does a condition, and they'll just fall over.
Yeah, Brad, how many times have you called people out on the fact that their triggers do not say may apply condition?
Yes,
It says applies condition.
They are not optional.
Yeah. That's it's coming up more and more in this game that those just happen. There's not a
Yes.
choice that can be made.
Yep.
So I like her. I like her quite a bit for some of those things. I think in this next year we're going to see a lot of new characters that are going to have things like she does, like putting out 2 conditions on different triggers. So it seems like that might be a trend going forward.
I do have to say, like, that's an interesting piece. It makes it so you can get a trigger and not get the trigger you're trying to get sometimes. Like, it's putting in multiple things on multiple. I mean, it's nice. I like that she can both slow and incinerate, but it is a little bit pulled back. Like, it's clearly it may have used to be wild. They gain incinerate and slow, and that was just a little bit too good.
Hey, Brad, I have a math question for Fred.
Oh, God.
Are you ready?
Sure.
So, cursing shot and hellfire shot, which one happens the most on a percentage?
Cursing shot, because you could wait on a percentage.
I think I know the answer to this.
Hold on, let me think. I think that hellfire shot happens more frequently because you could get extra dice from crits that roll into wilds, and if you just roll a wild, you can't roll into a crit.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I only know that from making the dice roller on Cerebro because it was throwing me for a loop, and then but you nailed the logic, Fred.
Yeah.
I thought Brad would appreciate that question.
I did.
Yeah, the incinerate happens like 52% of the time, and the slow happens about 48% of the time.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, that there are some more things we need to talk about Elsa Bloodstone. Specifically, she is both a Defender and a Midnight Sun. I need to remember to say what their affiliations are. But she also has a Tactics card that is associated with her. That Tactics card is called Covering Fire. It is an unaffiliated reactive Tactics card. During the power phase, an allied Elsa Bloodstone may spend 2 power to play this card. While this character is not dazed, until the end of the round, once per turn, after the first time each turn an attack targeting this character or another allied character is resolved, if the attacker is within range 4 of this character may roll 5 dice. If it does, it deals 1 damage to the attacking character for each crit and wild in the result. All right, what is everyone's thoughts on this card? Steven, what are your initial thoughts here about this card?
More damage, more better?
More damage, more better. That's true. This is the effect is good. The effect is very good. Like,
The effect
I like
is well laid plans, only on attacks though.
Yes. They don't drop the thing also. They don't drop
Right,
scenario.
but it's the crit in the wild trigger is what I'm referring to.
Right.
So,
I think it's good. The question is it good enough to make the 5? And
Yes.
Midnight Suns is pretty stacked with tactics cards.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Is it not?
No.
Is it not stacked?
No. They have one in affiliation tactics card that you take every time, And then character-wise, there's like half the characters that have a tactics card. Like Black Cat doesn't. You don't play Chosen of Bass. Blade doesn't. You don't hardly ever play Strange. Like, you don't really take Voodoo's card. You take Adam's card. You would take Ghost Rider's card. You would take Iron Fist card. Man Thing's card. Moon Knight doesn't have one. You don't take Inkansu's. You don't take Werewolf by Nights. Wong doesn't have one, and he does. You don't take it.
Mortal Hulk.
You would take the Immortal Hulks.
Yeah.
But like,
Okay, I mean,
there's not even 10 cards there. So like, Elsa's
character-
makes the 5 a lot.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And because if you bring Elsa, you probably do bring this card then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who has been playing Midnight Suns a lot recently, the tactics card situation is fucking awful. Like, it is not like I've had to change my roster numerous times. And like, it's probably part of like list building constraints, like, because I want to take all the cards, like, but there are times where I like have to take different models because I don't have enough tactics cards to take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And again, probably some list building like mishaps, but like, they don't have a ton of cards that you really want to take all the time. Like, in like, you have them, like, they have so much diversity at like the 3, and that's where a lot of their tactics cards are. So like, you're not taking Iron Fist every game, which has a tactics card. You're not taking Immortal Hulk every game, which you want his tactics card. Like, if you have Voodoo in your list and you have his tactics card, like, you're not taking him every game. If you have Ghost Rider in your list, you're not taking that 5 every game. So like, same thing with Adam, like, you're probably not taking Adam every game. So like, there's a lot of situations where you're like kind of trying to pick and choose like which cards you actually want, because the cards they do have are really good, but like, you don't want all those models in every game.
That's fair. Brad, what are your thoughts on this tactics card?
I love this tactics card. It is Counter-Strike, which is an ability I've always liked, but you don't have to target her. You can target her or anyone else, and she's going to smack you.
They could even have dazed the model, and they get smacked.
Yeah.
Which is...
Really liked attacking, doing the automatic 2 damage with Cyclops when they shoot him, and this gives me the same vibes. It's not the same effect at all, but it gives me the same vibes.
Also,
I love it.
It really makes her want to be like, kind of like counter to what I said earlier. Like, it really makes you want to bring her if you're playing like Demons Downtown, because then you get a ton of just free damage with the tactics card and the leadership. And when you're in an attrition game, like, all that free damage is just gonna add up, and it's gonna feel real bad long term.
Yep, absolutely agree. Okay, I think that's the only tactics card that's for her specifically, correct? I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed that they're coming out with a lot of tactics cards where characters play them in the power phase now?
I have noticed that trend.
Huh. You're right. They have been doing that.
I like that for effects like this, where you can play it before your opponent activates their first model, even if you're not going first.
Correct, yeah. And it's one of those things that you make your opponent aware that they might have to play around something, right?
Yeah.
So, another point about her leadership, that Silver Bullet cancels out that new Apocalypse card, Survival.
Wait, does it? Oh, hold on. That is interesting. That's extremely interesting.
Since that card's becoming popular.
Really? Oh, wow.
I'm looking at it now.
The players dropped all objective tokens.
Namor cancels out Survival too, and he has that same effect.
That character cannot be damaged by enemy effects. It doesn't say reduces all damage. It just says cannot be damaged. I mean,
it says reduced. Right. It says reduced or prevented. I think
then you're right.
I think that needs a clarification from the rules forum, but it does seem to work that way, which is crazy.
That made her leadership even better. Wow.
Yeah, I knew there was a point I needed to bring up, and that was it.
That's really
That
good.
basically just turns off survival. Like, if as long as you have the power to spend for Magic Bullet, you can just get around survival.
Correct.
That's actually incredible.
And
That's great.
It's only one power. Like, it's not even.
Yeah.
Hey, you get one of those in the power face.
You do.
You're right.
But it's only for one attack, because your second attack will be prevented by the survival.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But you can make that attack your builder or your spender.
Yeah, that's excellent. I'm glad you pointed that out, Steven.
You know who would love to pay one extra power and then Iron Fist someone who plays survival? Wait, I just gave it away.
Yeah, I was gonna Luke Cage. Is your answer Luke Cage?
No, it's not. It's Iron Fist.
9 power Iron Fist somebody.
Oh,
so
I like the 6 power Gamma Burst somebody, because then they don't gain power either. And then you get 10 dice.
I looked it up. They have already ruled on Namor, and Namor gets around survival, and it's the same wording. So it should work.
If you threw someone
there you go.
with the Gamma Burst, would the throw take damage too?
What, like threw someone into someone who had survived?
Oh, I see what he's asking. Like, would you damage from the throw? Would that one damage that you get from the throw? I don't think it would. I think it would not.
I do not think so.
Yeah, because that's not part of the attack. That's an added effect on top of the attack.
They have even ruled in the past that if you have like an attack that like does 1 damage to everyone around you, that damage is not part of the attack, even if it's in the attack's rules. So a throw definitely isn't.
Right. Okay. All right. We need to give a letter grade. We need to give a letter grade to Elsa Bloodstone. I think that she's great. I love everything on this card. I think she's excellent. I'm gonna give her an A-. I think she's really good. I like her. I like Midnight Suns quite a bit, and she's a nice little addition to their roster. Brad, what are you going to give to Elsa Bloodstone?
If I discount her leadership, I think I'd probably put her a B+. But with the leadership, I think she's an A. I love the leadership.
Okay. Yeah, the leadership's real good. Steven, what are your thoughts here on Elsa Bloodstone?
Yeah, my dissertation on this is that Elsa herself is like a B+ character, but her leadership is in the A. She's an A character, but her leadership is kind of like in the B+ category, where I think Blade's the opposite. He's a B+ character with an A leadership. So I think they counter each other kind of nicely like that.
And what are you gonna give her? Grand total.
Same as you, an A-. I mean,
A-. Okay. And Brandon, what are you gonna give to Elsa?
An A.
Okay, we're in more agreement than normal. We're all A's or A-. Like, this character's great. This is a great character, and I'm really looking forward to buying her. Brad, do you have any? Do you have any comic book recommendations that feature Elsa Bloodstone?
I sure do. Elsa Bloodstone. There we go. So the first series I have, and I do have just like 3 full series. None of them are long. The first one's 4 issues, and it's called Legion of Monsters from 2011. This is by Dennis Hopeless Hallam and Juan Doe, which I have a sneaking suspicion that that's not his real name. Juan Doe. Someone is brutally killing people, and Elsa knows who's doing it. The monsters that live under New York City. Unfortunately, she's wrong. And Morbius, Encanto, Jack Russell, and Amphibian Join her to track down the real killer. In this story, Elsa learns that monsters aren't that bad. Oh no.
We lost Brandon. But
Oh, we lost
can keep
Brandon.
going.
Okay. That's not as big of a deal as I thought I disconnected. Okay. The next series is Deadpool 2019. This is by Kelly Thompson and Chris Bocciolo. Deadpool is king of the monsters, and they are now living on Staten Island. And Elsa, as you may know, is a monster hunter. This puts them at direct odds. Deadpool must defend his new subjects against Elsa. Can he teach her that not all monsters are evil in time? Spoiler, yes. She learns that not all monsters are bad.
That's her constant lesson. She always learns this lesson.
Bonus, this story includes Jeff the baby land shark, which Brandon would be very excited about if he was still on the call. Okay, and then the third series and final series I have is Next Wave. This is Warren Ellis and Stuart Immonen. Elsa is recruited to a new super team that works for HATE, the highest anti-terrorism effort, along with...
Boy, that's terrible. Their anti-terrorism team is called HATE.
That is the organization, yes, that they are working for.
That sucks.
A subsidiary of Beyond Corporation copyright. They always put the copyright after it. All right. She is joined with the captain, who used to be called Captain Expletive, and whatever it was so bad that when he met Captain America beat him into a pulp and left him in a pile with a bar soap in his mouth. Boom Boom, Monica Rambeau from the MCU, and Machine Man. And their job is to hunt down and stop bizarre weapons of mass destruction, like Fing Fang Foom, the Broccoli Men, Four Brush Man. I'm pretty sure there's some killer koalas in there. But not all is what...
Did you say the Broccoli Man?
Men.
Men? The Broccoli Men?
Yes, the Broccoli Men.
Okay.
Not all is what it seems with HATE and their parent company, Beyond Corporation copyright.
Oh, do you think that the organization called HATE is actually maybe not on the side of good?
You'd have to read the comic. I let Jared, the former and frankly better host of this podcast, read this comic, and he absolutely loved it. It is ridiculous. It is funny. It has colored the interpretations of these characters that have appeared since then. So, like Elsa and Boom Boom and Machine Man were very different characters before this series compared to after this series.
Interesting. Okay.
It's really good. It's
Hey, is that one that you're gonna give to me?
Comedy Gold. I can, Fred. If you are interested, I can bring it to you.
We'll see. Okay. I might be interested just to find out what the Broccoli Men are.
They're broccoli men, Fred. It's self-explanatory.
Okay, then. Is that it, Brad?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we don't have Brandon, but Steven, do you have an affiliation where you think that Elsa Bloodstone would really shine? That's not Midnight Suns or Defenders.
Looking at her first attack, I want to say struck her Hydra, of course.
Okay.
But I also think she would make an interesting web warrior.
A web warrior. Okay. What's your thought process there?
Slow for all web
fair.
up.
Fair.
That's a
And
good.
incinerate so those pillow fists can get through some damage.
Yeah, and she also gets another reroll. Like she can get a reroll and then spend 2 to reroll all
Mm-hmm.
if she needs to.
Yep.
Or reroll any, I should say.
That is correct. So, and she's very mobile, like the Web Warriors too, with that run and gun. So I think she fits their game plan. So
Okay then. All right. Well, I guess the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. Okay, so there's a movie that would have been perfect had it been out when we did the Dracula episode, but I think it's pretty appropriate here, and that movie is Nosferatu. It's Robert Eggers' newest movie. It came out
Fred.
just recently.
Nosferatu came out in like the 20s. What do you mean it wasn't out when we did Dracula?
Well, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. It did, and this is basically the same movie.
It's like twice as long.
You're correct. It's also a lot more gripping, and it has Willem Dafoe, which is a big positive. Willem Dafoe is great in this movie. This movie is extremely, like, it nails the gothic feel of the Dracula story. I mean, it basically is just telling the Dracula story, the story that we all know quite well. And it even plays with that. Like, it does dramatic irony where everyone who's watching the movie knows what's going on. The characters themselves don't. And it does that to great effect. Like, it winks at the audience enough that you understand what's going on. It is a really well put together movie, and I really enjoyed it. That is Nosferatu 2024. And that is it for our show today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and listening to us talk about Elsa Bloodstone. Thank you, Brad and Steven, for staying throughout the rest of the call. And thanks to Brandon, even though he had to leave. I hope that everyone out there has a wonderful new year. The next time we talk, it will be 2025. Goodbye, everybody.